Hi,
Hi, how are you? Do you
I'm
want me,
good. Thank you for, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you want me to put earphones on or?
I know you're fine.
Okay.
I, I'm not getting any feedback or anything strange, so you're okay.
Okay.
You're good.
Well, you
I
have
want
a
to,
nice voice.
oh, thank you.
Nice radio voice.
I want to make sure I pronounce your name right too. So, is it Anastasia or Anastasia?
Both are okay with me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to get it right.
No, don't worry. I mean, the English speaking people call me Anastasia.
hmm
The French, it's Anastasia.
Anastasia. Oh,
So
nice.
it's okay. It's all good. To each their own flavor.
Is it okay to use any of our video today for promoting the episode on our YouTube channel?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure I have your permission.
Okay, let me
And
just maybe close this. Make it look nicer in the back. How's that?
it's wonderful.
All right.
You're like an angel now. It's like a halo around you.
Yeah, exactly. I do. I try my best.
Well, thank you, Anastasia.
Feel nice.
Anastasia. um, this is Dope Nostalgia Podcast. Now, we talk a lot about what people were doing in the 90s with their musical careers, but we also talk about what they've been up to lately and just some of the adventures you've had in the last while. What made you decide when you were young that you wanted to be a musician?
Ooh, life decided that for me.
Yeah.
I had a very artistic family. So
Yeah.
my mom was a theater actress, sorry. So we'd go on. I would be on stage a lot,
Hmm.
when they would rehearse. I'd be the little child, playing around in the corner there and trying to get some attention and acting myself or something like that. And my father as well, he played the guitar, he sung a little bit. So
Mm.
is always surrounded by music, by theater, by dance.
Nice.
And as a child, I was actually a ballet dancer. And then around 12 or 13, I expressed the desire to play drums. And then that quickly passed because what I really wanted to do was learn an instrument and write songs to it. So my mom bought me a guitar instead when I was about 13. And that's how my
Perfect.
journey began. I just found a good guitar teacher and started playing songs of the Police. And I learned Stairway to Heaven like everyone wanted.
Hmm.
And that's how it began. So around the age of 13, 12, 13, and I left as well the ballet world because, well, honestly, as a child, as a young pre-adolescent, it was like not so cool to be a ballet dancer anymore.
Really?
Well, we're influenced by our surroundings. Yeah, it was silly like that. I'm being totally honest with you. Sorry, I'm going to turn off this put on do not disturb.
All good. All good.
Yeah, but that never completely left me. But it was like, walking down hallways in high school because I went to a ballet school in a high school. So walking around with tights and the chignon,
Hmm.
the lift hair, and it was just like, no, I want to be like all the other kids.
That's interesting because there'd be so many other students like you who would be invested into ballet at that time too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's full circle. Things come back.
Yeah.
Things come back to your life. So
It's
that's just, it's in a phase. I wanted to,
yeah.
and it worked out. The
Hmm.
guitar actually worked out, and singing songs worked out, and all that. So it was a good transition.
And you mentioned some of the music that inspired you. Who were some of your influences at the time when you were listening and learning to write your own songs?
Um, whew. It would range from Joni Mitchell to, I mean, I'm going to throw in Joni Mitchell next to Madonna,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah, it's just anyone who had a nice plume, as we say in French, you know, a very
Mm-hmm.
imaginative mind. David Bowie was one of my favorite songwriters. Um, Leonard Cohen,
Yes.
um, Stevie Wonder. Do you know what I mean? It goes like whoever was captivating my attention through lyrics and musical compositions. So really, no. Oh, like the cat's here.
Oh,
No
good.
niche specifically. Yeah, that's Luna.
Hi, Luna.
Curious, wants to know what's going on. Yeah, so it just varied. Yeah.
Now, when we talk about the group Sky,
Yeah.
they had a great history already on the charts, and they had become a Juno winner at that time that you joined the band.
Yeah.
And what was the process that established you as a member? How did you become part of Sky?
Well, Antoine and I were high school friends. And Antoine and two other guys were the first people with whom I actually sung with.
Mm,
I was 14, Antoine was around 17, going on 18. So we already had history and
mm,
we did a few gigs together. And later on, I think I saw Antoine again. We lost touch for maybe 10 years. And then I saw him again. I was gigging in a club called Sofa in Montreal. And he showed up and he was like, wow, you're still doing it. You're still singing. You sound great. And unfortunately, James had moved on. And
mhm.
he's like, listen, are you interested in joining an already existing band? And so it happened as we were having a drink between a set, you know. And I said, yeah, let's hang out one day and listen to your tracks and see if I can put some lyrics down. And one thing led to another, and that's really it just happened, you know. But I don't think it would have happened that way if I hadn't known Antoine personally.
So it was a
So
matter of reconnecting and
yeah,
just, and obviously having a chance to be creative and write together. I was going to
yeah.
ask how much creative input you had
Oh,
when you started with them.
I did pretty much all of the lyrics and melody. I would say, depending on which song we're talking about, but you know, Antoine always had some input, you know, because it's all collaborations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get stuck in a phrasing, a way you're trying to say something, and you know, the people around you, it could have been Antoine or it could have been Alexi or someone else. They would just go like, throw in this word or you know, go a little higher on this note. And so, you know, it was always collaborating, but they would leave the writing and the melodies for me. And
Mm.
then when we'd start recording, some things would sometimes change and other things would just go as is. So yeah, it was a beautiful time, moment in time.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
glad. And
Yeah.
what were the performances live like? Did you do any of like their older material before you were in the band as well as the new
Yeah.
material?
Yeah, we'd have to, I mean, it
Yeah.
was is not even something we talk about, you know, for the
Mm.
fans for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I would often feel um not it's not overwhelmed is not the word, but I would feel like you know, because James has such a voice and
Mm.
for the fans, you know what I mean? Like how are the fans gonna feel about a girl singing James songs, you know what I mean? So I'd
Mhm.
always like try to build a bit more confidence when that moment would come, and also because like you don't want to disappoint the fans, but yeah, I think it went well.
They embraced it. And I
I
feel
think
like,
so.
did you have to change any of the tuning for the songs
Yeah,
because of, yeah?
yeah, 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 they
Yeah.
had to be either a little, yeah, it was a little higher, I think,
Mhm.
if my memory is correct. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And he
Yeah,
had a pretty high voice,
yeah,
but
yeah,
so I'm sure it was,
he would hit higher notes than me. he had a higher range,
Yeah.
yeah, for a male singer.
Wow.
He was
Did
awesome.
did you get a chance to know him?
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately. He passed
Well,
away a few years back.
yeah,
That was a hard pill to swallow for everyone. I mean,
yeah.
it's almost like James, I think he knew of me, I knew of him, and there's so many stories that I, you know, heard about that you start feeling like you know the person. Do you know
Hmm.
what I mean? And I was filling his shoes. So and the whole thing as well, because we were friends from high school, and when he found out that Antoine had found someone to replace him, and he was totally cool with there was no weird vibes or anything.
Yeah.
It happened very naturally,
It
so
makes
bless
sense.
James.
It to me from reading the story, it sounds like it was time for new things in his life. He
Oh
had
yeah,
other passions he wanted to pursue. So I'm glad that it happened so organically for everybody involved.
yeah,
And
definitely.
what was one of your most memorable performances?
Oh well, you say, we're talking about 22 years ago. Time
I
flies.
know it's gone quickly.
Yeah, it's gone by quickly, but uh, the flash I have is the launch that we had in Montreal,
Mm,
simply because my entire family was there, and it just felt like we were launching this rocket,
mm,
and it was like 3, 2, 1, blast off. That's how it felt. And it was just, and then after that, we toured a lot. We went from Halifax to Vancouver and Vancouver and back and all that. And a little bit of a blur. A
yeah.
little bit of a blur. There were lots of shows, but the launch was just, and we launched in Toronto as well. But for me, doing it in my hometown in Montreal was
It's
because
important.
friends, family were there, and everyone was so happy for us, that we
Hmm.
were doing what we love and doing it bigger, not just doing it in small clubs in Montreal, just doing it bigger now. So yeah, it was a good feeling.
I'm glad that you got to do the Canada wide tour experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not an easy road,
It's
literally.
not glamorous.
It's
No,
a huge
when you're traveling with seven, I think how many were we? Yeah, we're about seven, plus the tour manager, plus the guy who was driving the van. I mean,
Were you in a
There,
van or
there
a
were
bus?
smelly moments. There were very smelly moments in that van. You know what I mean?
That's what everyone says when it's van
Yep.
life.
Yeah. It's not glamorous.
And
Sometimes you
it
don't even know where you arrive in a town and you're like, where are we? Oh, we're in Calgary. Okay. Okay. We're in Calgary today. Okay.
did you get a chance to see some of the sites, especially out west when you were here? Nah,
No,
no
it's all
time.
work. Apart from, maybe I remember, because I had an interview at the Edmonton Mall, I got to go to the Edmonton Mall in Edmonton, but
That's
no.
where I am.
Are you there?
I'm in Edmonton.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
The
So
big
it's
mall.
it's 2 hours earlier for you.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but no, it is such a huge, huge country that it would be very difficult to get in a van and do that. So I can understand why, it's kind of a blur.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what were some of the songs? For instance, I like to play clips of the tracks on the show. I'd love you to
Okay.
tell me whether it's a deep album cut. I love playing those. What's is one of your favorite songs that you recorded together?
Alien City is one of my favorites to
Yeah.
this day. Yeah. Yeah. I'm bummed that it never made the cut. It didn't. It was like up there as one of the singles,
Hmm.
and yeah, it didn't happen. But there's so there. Wait, there's like, I haven't heard the album. So if you want to play some songs, go right ahead. It just maybe refresh my memory. But
I always added them in, like I edit it later and then I put the clips in. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, we'll play a clip of Alien City so that everyone gets
Yeah,
a
you
taste to
can.
hear
Well,
it.
we don't have a clip, but we have the song, right? The track.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
exactly.
that track. And you was like definitely when we finished that song, we were all like, "That's a killer song. That's definitely a single." And I still enjoy that. So I would love, and maybe I'm just throwing it out there in the universe, but I would love to redo that song unplugged and see how it
Yeah.
come out. Just guitar, voice, lots of voices, a little soulful vibe to it, and just keep it really pure and just, yeah, I'd like to hear
Re-
it that way. So,
reimagined.
yeah, we'd have to see if Antoine's not too busy with his cooking chef.
Oh
He's a chef
yes.
now, huh?
Yes. When I look him up, I see that he's very successful as a chef.
Yeah,
Is he still in Montreal?
he lives off the island, but he's in Quebec. Yeah, he's not too far from Montreal.
Yeah. No, I'm happy for him to hear that. Do you guys keep in touch?
Through Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like the rest.
he had a birthday. I couldn't go, unfortunately, but I was invited, and I spoke with Joey, his wife. They've been married for, well, they've been together for over 22 years. So I
Yeah.
don't know how long they've been married, but they've been together and they have beautiful kids and all that. So
Sounds
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Yeah. Now in 2009, you did your first solo album, Full
I
Circle.
did. I did.
And what was that process like for you? Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I come from a very folky background, and I was after Sky. We decided that I needed to pursue also my own musical world,
Yes.
and I wanted to do something very organic. So I started writing loads and loads of songs, and I'm a slow person. Like I like to take my time with things. There's never a rush to, release an album. So
Mhm.
I really took some time. I took like 7 years, because when I finally met the people I really wanted to work with, the ones I knew were going to produce it, the record label and all of that happened around 2006. And
Mhm.
around 2007, I had enough songs that I thought that if we could pick 12, 15 that we can work with and then see which ones make the cut and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, so that was a beautiful um, project, and yeah, I love that album. I still very much do. So yeah, I love that album. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy for you. And I don't know now if you're still doing music. I know that you're focused on yoga. That
Yeah.
I was and you run a yoga studio, which is fantastic.
No, I work for many yoga studios. I'm
Oh.
actually prepared. Yeah, I've been teaching for 9 years. I don't own a yoga studio. Well, I haven't really come to that yet, but
Mm,
I'm going to be leading a not leading, that's not right. I'm partnering up with another yoga teacher, and
mhm.
we're going to start certifying students to become teachers. So
Wonderful.
yeah, that is yes.
What are some of your travels been like, or especially in relation to both careers, both career paths? Where have you got to visit in the world?
Well, full circle, unfortunately, because it was a very underground type album, it wasn't pop. We didn't go as far as Quebec. I
Mhm.
toured a lot in my own province, but I never the record label which with I signed was a French Canadian record label. which also meant that they didn't have many contacts outside of out of Quebec City, Quebec, the province.
Mm-hmm.
But after touring, I toured for 2 years in my own province. And that's when I started practicing yoga a lot. Like
Yeah.
it was taking over most of my time. And yoga took me to India. I lived in Morocco for a year from 2014 till 2015. I was uh, I was also living in England for quite some time. Traveled a bit in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But yoga was the got me traveling a lot more than the music, because the music we would travel to different cities, but it wasn't traveling. It's not
Yeah.
you're not getting to know the people of that city or the culture of the place and all that. So
You don't get to take it in, right?
not the same way, no, because you land somewhere, you go to the hotel, you do the sound check, you perform, and the next day you're gone to the next city. So it's not, you are moving, but you're not traveling per se, like
Yeah.
learning a new culture, learning new people, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
but yoga, yeah, yoga, I've traveled a lot for yoga. I've taken I've 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 done yoga retreats. I did one in Morocco. I'm leading one this winter with. I have already 9 people signed up for my yoga and travel retreat. I can
Wow.
get more people, but I'm just super happy that people are coming and it's happening, and yeah. So
That's
that's
fantastic.
yeah, and
I'm
I
happy
am
for you.
singing. I am still singing. I had a little. I had to. I didn't put my guitar away and my voice away, but I had to like step back for a bit
Mm-hmm.
in order to start this new path that I'm on with my new vocation, which is yoga. And now, if funnily enough, everything is like Dope Nostalgia writes, sends me a message concerning, hey, you want an interview? And then everything, it's that's how I see life. And that's why I'm never rushed into anything. And then
Mm.
my old producer is calling me and sending me old tracks that we did in 2012 and 13. It's like, hey, remember this song? Do you remember this song? And we're like,
Yeah.
oh my, like these songs are really good. Like people need to hear this. So there I am. I'm there.
Wow.
I'm people are reaching out and I am accepting it. I was a bit closed off 3 years ago. I was like, no, I'm still doing this. I need to get work on this first and then I'll come back,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm opening that door, and people are coming in, and not, they're asking for attention and collaborations and interviews and stuff like that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, sure, let's talk about music.
Well,
Let's talk about.
I'm happy if you're reigniting your musical fire. That is fantastic. And just the fact that you took the time to talk about these wonderful memories with me today. I'm so blessed. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank
Before
you.
before we wrap things up, I wanted to ask you too, as as a person who lives in Quebec, where are some of the places there that inspire you the most, or places you would recommend for someone like me from Edmonton to come and check out while I'm there?
Well, Montreal is the best city.
That's we hear that a
Montreal is the most.
lot.
Huh?
We hear that a lot out
I
here.
know, we're very proud. Montrealers are very proud of their city. Um, I love my city. You know what we do in Montreal? What's the word in English? Flâner is the word in French. It means that you go out, but you don't really necessarily do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You wander about. So I'll leave my apartment, I'll start walking towards the Mile End, which is the next neighborhood, and then I'll bump into a friend, and then we'll go have an espresso coffee,
Mm.
and then I'll keep walking, and I'll end up meeting someone, and it's just like a city where
Wow.
you can just lounge around. You know, we love to drink coffee or sit at a bar and have a pint of beer and just
Mhm.
chit chat. That's pretty much what Montreal is.
Mm.
And lovely neighborhoods, beautiful parks, lots of festival, lots of music, lots of, I mean, I don't necessarily go out that much anymore, but
Mhm.
I'm sure like if I really wanted to on a Tuesday night, I'd find somewhere to go. You know, I could
Yeah.
dance, I could see a show, I
The
could go to the
nightlife is
theater.
good from
Nightlife
what I
is really
understand.
good in Montreal.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the country. I love walking, trekking. Now is beautiful, the colors.
Mm.
Yeah.
Edmonton is not like that.
No? Well, you have
No.
beautiful mountains.
We're close to the beautiful mountains. That is
Yeah.
true. And we do have
Yeah.
our own charm, but
Yeah.
I just love the fact that everything sounds so relaxed that you can just go and walk up and down the street and see people you know, and that's a wonderful thing.
Well, you know what? A friend of mine who is from Ottawa and lives here in Montreal, she said Montreal is a people city. Most of Canadian cities are built for cars. And
Mm. Huh.
I'd never
Yeah.
heard that because I don't live in like I've never lived in Toronto, I've never lived in Calgary or Edmonton or Vancouver. She
Hmm.
says that Vancouver is a little similar, closer to Montreal, but Montreal is a place where you walk or you have so many psychopaths and you can
Hmm.
just like, you know, it's true. Like you can walk around the city for hours and just explore it like that. You don't have to drive.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. So that's nice, you know,
Our weather here is not conducive to
to walking. Does
well,
it?
I like to walk. I like to travel, especially right now with the leaves being as beautiful as they are and
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah.
we're trying in Edmonton to put more cycle paths in,
Yeah.
and we as a public seem to be quite resistant to it because everybody likes to drive here.
Drive. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see.
It'll take the time, you
Mhm.
know. People adjust. At first, they're like, "Why these cyclists? They're in my way."
This is supposed to
Yeah,
keep them out of your way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But still, I mean, you never know.
It's true.
Yeah,
Once again, thank you for your time.
you're
And
very
this
welcome.
is
Thank
going to
you
be,
for inviting me on your show. I hope you have success with whatever you're doing with all your doings.
well, thank you. So,
Yeah,
Anastasia, I'm going to schedule this to be out on the 27th of this month. So, when I do, I'll tag you in the social media so you'll know what's coming up. And
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Love to hear it.
perfect. Oh, and your last name too. I want to make sure I pronounce right. Is it
Friedman,
Friedman? Okay.
Anastasia
Perfect.
Friedman.
Thank you. All right. Well, I
Thank
hope
you.
enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Have a good evening.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye.